what's coming up tonight? It's going to be a fun one between St. Louis and NC State. When it comes to NC State, Patty, the name Donovan Phillip is known across college soccer. What do you expect to see from the junior forward tonight?
Well, you expect to see fireworks every time he steps on the pitch. He's the ACC Offensive Player of the Year for a reason, and he can beat you in a number of different ways. He's pacey. He can get it behind. He's extremely physical, and he's one of the best goal scorers in and around the box that you'll find anywhere in college soccer. Anytime Donovan Phillip gets a matchup, he's going to be physically imposing, and so it's so important if you're St. Louis, not only to keep him at bay, but you got to slow him down because you won't stop him. And so such an entertaining center forward is Donovan Phillip. Should be fantastic here tonight.
Yes, second in the country in goals scored, semifinalist for the Mac Herman Trophy, of course. On the other side, how does St. Louis limit what he's able to do defensively?
Well, I think limit is the right word because he is going to get his chances. And so when he does, this will be the man that tries to keep him out of the back of the net, and Jeremy Abenel has been fantastic. The A10 goalkeeper of the year. He's come up big time and again for this Billikens squad, both in the run of play, but also from the penalty spot. He just has a tremendous feel for the game. He's come up time and time again with these penalty spots. You see it in the shootout, not only in the shootout, but through the run of play, and making a big save in the previous round against Akron that you see here. This game was 1-0 at the time. He kept it that and allowed for St. Louis to climb back into the game. So you know, with how talented NC State is, he will be asked to make at least a few big-time saves. Should be really interesting to watch.
This is a Billikens program that has won 10 of these NCAA titles, but it's going to be a bit of a home field environment for NC State. What are you expecting as far as the fans here in this stadium?
Well, I mean, it's already an electric atmosphere. We've seen it thus far. You're starting to see the red really start to trickle in now. There's only so many times you'll be able to play a de facto home game here in the Raleigh area, so look for Wolfpack Nation to be out in numbers.
Pretty nice to be able to sleep in your own bed the night before a semifinal, too. We've got plenty more coming your way from here in Cary, North Carolina at the Men's College Cup. And we welcome you back to Cary, North Carolina, where we are taking you to kickoff of our second Men's College Cup semifinal. St. Louis versus NC State. Mark Hubbard is in his second season with the Wolfpack, but he's no stranger to this tournament. He caught up with our Patty Foss moments ago.
Coach, you got a moment outside to see the crowd, sellout crowd here 5 miles from your campus. Can you talk about what it means to play in a College Cup in what is really a de facto home game?
Yeah, it's obviously a special moment. Walking out, just taking a quick peek, already getting a bunch of Wolfpack chants. So I'm excited to take advantage of that and use it as fuel tonight.
You're playing one of the hottest teams in the country. St. Louis hasn't lost in 14 games. Can you talk a little bit about what it's going to take to break down what is a very stingy back line and sort of the tactics of this match to start?
Yeah, sure. They've been on the road. They've been in tight matches, and they can score goals late in games. So, you know, the longer it goes, we got to be mindful of those situations. But I think scoring early and attacking and doing our thing is going to be the recipe.
When we talked to your guys this week, they talked about team motto, carry the culture. It's a double entendre on the culture that you've built in only a short amount of time here in Raleigh, but also Cary and where we stand now. This was always the goal. What's the final message to your team in the locker room?
Yeah, it's no final message. Just hopefully we have 3 more days together. It's a special group, and the motto's played out perfectly, and we're happy to be here representing NC State in front of our fans.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Take a look at the tail of the tape between these two programs. 10 titles for St. Louis is the most in D1 history. The Billikens are making the program's 52nd NCAA tournament appearance. That's a record here at this event. I talked to head coach Kevin Kalish when they arrived here at the stadium ahead of this matchup. Coach, first time back here at the College Cup since 1997. You were on that roster. Yeah. What is it like walking back in here to compete for this tonight?
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. Obviously, we're proud of the guys. We've had some tremendous players and teams over the last 25 years. We're proud of our legacy, and we're proud to be back.
You guys have shown incredible resiliency so far through this postseason. How can that help you tonight?
Yeah, look, we know that NC State's a very quality team. We know it's going to be a tight game, so just managing the momentum, managing those moments, and making plays when it counts.
How do you manage and or limit Donovan Phillip on the other side tonight?
Yeah, I think we got some really good center backs on our team. I think obviously it's going to take a ton of concentration. He's a very good player. Really some really good box defending. Yeah, it'll be 90-plus minutes of concentration and focus.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks. Thank you.
V Week continues here at ESPN as we partner with the V Foundation to continue the fight against cancer.
I never imagined that I'd be able to be standing here 20 years after Jimmy V's speech.
I hear Jimmy's words in my head.
The most poignant 7 words ever uttered in any speech anywhere.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
So I will never give up.
To be honored with this, I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up. I listened to all that he said, everything that he asked of us, and that's to build the V Foundation.
What I would like to be able to do is to spend whatever time I have left and to give and maybe some hope to others.
We are going to find a cure for cancer.
Because of all the donations, research, and support, mine is one of the lives that's been saved.
Jimmy, my man up there, we are not going to stop chasing our dream to beat cancer.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those 3 things are going to carry on forever.
Those powerful messages are important reminders of the urgent need for cancer research. If you're able, you can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Coming up next, we will dive into this next match. We'll bring you Patty Foss's keys to victory for a shot at the title game on Monday night. Beautiful Cary, North Carolina, site of the Men's College Cup, where we have one more semifinal to kick off in just a few moments. St. Louis taking on NC State. It'll be the 5th meeting all time between these 2 programs, and it is sure to be a fun one. Patty Foss, Alyssa Lang back here with you. Let's dive into this matchup, starting with NC State. They bring in quite a lot of firepower, certainly garnering plenty of honors from the ACC this year. Who's at the top of your list for who we have to look out for tonight?
Well, it's a long list for NC State. Number 1, the spine of this team is really where they're dominant from back to front. Logan Erb, of course, the ACC goalkeeper of the year, has been phenomenal. One of the best seasons in NC State history. But you kind of go from there, and there really isn't a weak spot. And for me, the fulcrum of this team, though, is not an ACC player of the year. It's that man, Tate Healy. He is so dominant in midfield, so creative. When you get the ball to his feet, he will be a player who is just finding the pockets of space and finding ways not only to create goals, but as of late, scoring them. 2 goals in the last 2 games, and they've been big moments. He's a senior who came with Mark Hubbard from New Hampshire. He believed in the vision. He believed that this was possible, that they could get here and play for a national championship on the final weekend. He's a leader by the way he moves and the way he's so dominant with the ball at his feet. But he also plays with a tremendous amount of swagger, and he's fun to watch. He
absolutely is, and this team absolutely is as well. ACC Player of the Year, as well as you see Tate Healy warming up on the field behind us, part of that first team All-ACC squad. Donovan Phillip was the ACC Player of the Year. He's their primary goal scorer. On the other side, though, for St. Louis, Kareem Pari is somebody that you have to keep your eyes on.
Well, that's right, and it's interesting because not a lot of the time are we talking about a player who really comes off the bench most of the time, but he is a game changer when he's inserted into the game. A couple things from the last round. You won't find these on the stat sheet, but he was so dominant when he got it. He was the game changer that brought them back from that 2-goal deficit, running at the back line, creating an own goal. And then this one's on frame. It's headed for that far post, and yet hits the arm of an Akron defender, wins the penalty kick, leads to an equalizer, and finally this team finds a 3rd goal, and suddenly they've come back yet again. This is a team in St. Louis who has come back in 4 of the last 5 games. 3 of those, they found an equalizer after the 80th minute. Never count them out. They have so much belief and they're a really tough team to break down, especially with that back five.
Yeah, to trail at halftime in 3 of the last 4 matches in this tournament. You heard us talk to Kevin Kalish about it, the resiliency of this team. I'm sure that will be a key to victory for St. Louis, but when you look at your keys to victory tonight, what are they?
Well, I think for NC State, we touched on it early, but they have to be dominant down the spine of the field, and that's the central moments. They have to win the possession battle, and they have to have that rhythm. For St. Louis, they're going to drop deep at times during this game, but you have to be lethal in transition. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities to hit NC State on that transition. When you do, take them and be clinical in front of the goal, because they are capable of pulling an upset here under what is really a home crowd for NC State.
NC State has advanced here to the College Cup for the first time since 1990, just the second time in program history. On the other side, the Billikens have won 10 of these NCAA titles. Think there's some pressure on St. Louis here on this stage?
Well, I think these guys know when you go to St. Louis and you put that crest on, the weight of those 10 stars, but they're ready to find the 11th. For NC State, though, they know the mission, and they've known it all year. Now they will play in front of their home fans for the chance to face the Washington Huskies and raise a trophy on Monday.
We are just about 10 minutes away from NC State's campus, and we are just moments away from kickoff in our second semifinal here at the Men's College Cup. St. Louis taking on NC State. Winner goes to the national championship on Monday night.
Ready for the second semifinal of the evening here in Cary. The St. Louis Billikens, I'll say visiting NC State here tonight. It's a neutral site game, but this is very much a home game for the Wolfpack in the second of our 2 semifinals.
This is gonna be good. 48 challengers, whittled down to just 4 teams, playing the last matches of the season for the right to hold this one trophy and the right to measure themselves as champions. St. Louis versus NC State in the 2025 Men's College Cup semifinal.
Day becomes night just outside of Raleigh in Cary, North Carolina. We have one finalist, the Washington Huskies. Monday night here on ESPN will play for a national championship. Will it be the winningest team in college soccer history on the men's side, 10-time national champion St. Louis, or will it be the essentially homestanding NC State Wolfpack looking to win what will be their first national championship? Happy to have you with us here in Cary alongside the ex-Sherman pro Devin Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. Devin, very different paths to get here for these two teams. St. Louis took a little while to get going. It was hectic at times. NC State clean, dominant, convincing, and essentially playing at home.
Let's start right there with the NC State Wolfpack, because the first day of preseason, one thing and one thing only was synonymous with their conversations: national title. That's the quality that they felt they had, but a lot of teams have those conversations. So their business has been true and blue from the get-go. On the attacking side, they open the game up. They make you feel really uncomfortable because they're so physically demanding under Mark Hubbard. But defensively, this is where this team is so good and is not given enough credit. The reason being is constant pressure. They shrink the field. They can defend down deep. They can push up high. Defensively, this unit can do everything, and it's spearheaded by that man right there, Niko Markovic on the back line. This is the best center back in the country for my money, and here's why. He's calm. He doesn't allow himself to get in one-on-one pressure situations. Instead, he's so good with the angles game to open himself up and then boom, drops and go. This is a mark of this NC State team. To have success, you will see all night. As they start to pivot, they give themselves options, and then the attack is off as running. But as a defender, you got to be able to do the one-on-one situations. This is the center back hopping over after the holding midfielder gets beaten, not lacking confidence whatsoever. He's agile, he's quick, he's physical, and he is incredible as an aerial threat on the attacking side of the ball.
Alluded to it a moment ago. It took a little while for St. Louis to get going this year. You see it there in terms of the matches in which they were held scoreless, but they've come alive, and they're unbeaten in their last 14 games.
Simple for the Billikens, depth and health. That's why attacking-wise, you're starting to see more goals, and it's the perfect complement defensively from what you get out of them. Jeremy Abenel is a major part of that. Set-piece situations, the ability to step up, the understanding that he has to have control. In the absence of all of that depth and the quality that they want in their roster, he's had great communication and kept everybody uniform in front of him. Everybody looks at this team as the underdog, except every single player in that dressing room, and that's the most important thing.
History will tell you St. Louis are the favorites here tonight, 10-time national champions, but there's a lot more red than blue in this stadium. It's the Billikens and the Wolfpack next, with the date against the Washington Huskies in Monday's national championship.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Balvano's fight against cancer.
Ready to get things going here, Mr. Wolf, getting the crowd up and ready. We'll meet the starting lineups first with St. Louis.
This is very simple for the Billikens over the course of the evening, sitting deep, mid to low at times, and making sure that you keep the game in front of you. Do not allow the match to open up. Rely on the communication from your goalkeeper, Jeremy Abenel, and when the opportunities present themselves in transition or set pieces, spring quickly. Again, this NC State Wolfpack team under Mark Hubbard, they're going to sit in their traditional 4-4-2 diamond. Little change within the midfield with Santa Maria coming in, more on that in-game, but the success is going to be on Donovan Phillip. Hottest striker in the country to start the year, second most goals in the NCAA. I want to see him work off the back shoulders of defenders and drag pressure with him to not only create for himself, but for the rest of this Wolfpack squad.
Washington needs an opponent, NC State or St. Louis. We are underway in the second semifinal of the evening. Billikens right to left in the blue, Wolfpack left to right in the white. Glad to have you with us on ESPNU alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. Austin Sanny, the referee in charge here tonight. Quick early look down that left side. Donovan Phillip looking end line, stumbles a bit. Abenel has it, but there's your first look at how quickly things can unfold for the Wolfpack. ACC Offensive Player of the Year, Donovan Phillip. Ran a rough shot over some of their non-conference opponents early in the season. Hit a bit of a dip in his form, but he's found it again. 2 goals and an assist in this tournament. 3 straight games with a goal contribution. Tate Healy, senior attacking midfielder, prefers his left foot, threads it ahead for Tommy, looked in front. And the Billikens get it clear, but quick early momentum and energy for the Wolfpack. Isaac Heffis throws it long. Foul in the box. Goes against NC State. Where are you, Marion?
Well, I am in the NC State fan section. And look, guys, this is a team that they knew in preseason this was a special group. And they said once we knew that we had the relationships in the locker room, we wanted to share it with the fans. And that's exactly what they did, guys. A sellout crowd here at WakeMed Park. We even got the power sound of the South, the marching band for NC State. And these guys are ready, am I right?
Oh, the Red Terrors have been fantastic all season long. The supporters group for NC State, and chatting with Nico Markovic yesterday, he actually said there's been plenty of moments this season where the supporters group and the players have interacted. The players went to go paint a banner with the supporter section. Very intertwined. They feed off of each other. Now it's Phillip down the right side. Looking for Conde. Blair skies it. Healy on the volley. Weathering this early brunt of pressure, the Billikens. Not out of the woods though, clip toward the back post. Cortez gets a head on it. Only 5 miles from the heart of NC State's campus. This crowd is mostly red. It's a home game, and St. Louis knows that. For a team that has had to win most of their games in this tournament on the road, but for one, they didn't call this a neutral site game. They called this what it is. It's a road game. Markovic back to Erb. Those two anchoring a back line that has been tremendous for NC State. Showed you the numbers at the top, a goals against average at .43. They talked about it coming into the season. They had 2 goals. Keep a sub .5 goals against average. Get what was originally 10 clean sheets. Then they felt it was too ambitious, some in the locker room, so they knocked it down to 8. Well, then they blew past that, ended up with 15.
Underachievers, apparently. I'll tell you, one of the biggest differences between these two teams, and we're going to talk tactics all night long, the size. The Billikens, very good with the ball. They can survive within matches. They're good at set pieces, and they defend well. But they're not exactly winning a popularity contest on the vertical side of things. NC State is massive, and they are physical. And these are 6-foot-plus bodies built full of muscle, 4% body fat, running at you for 90 minutes.
Maloney goes down along the far sideline. Possession will stay with the Billikens. Mark Hubbard in his second year at the helm of NC State, coming over from New Hampshire, has won a national title in his past, the Division II National Championship at Southern New Hampshire in 2013, now looking for one at the D1 level. While NC State have struggled for success as a program over the last decade, Hubbard himself has not. He made 7 straight tournaments at New Hampshire, now 2 straight at NC State in his first College Cup. On the left side, cutting infield. First look at what Kareem Pari could do for St. Louis down the left flank.
Some really interesting changes for both teams tonight. Let's start with the Billikens. St. Louis, Draven Barnett picked up an injury yesterday in training. That's why he's not available within the midfield. Now the good news is you have depth there. Drake Fournier comes off the back line. Grady Easton is going to give it a go. Now while that's the preferred choice for head coach Kevin Kalish, he's been touch and go due to injury. They don't know how much they can get out of him, but it's the easiest change to keep the identity of this team that is defensively stout and springing quickly coming the other way.
There's Fournier stepping up into the midfield off the back line because of that change you mentioned, making a play.
Here's what I'm going to be interested in, the response from NC State on how they're going to work through the midfield. Now, Tyler Caton has missed 1 game and 1 game only this year. That's their number 12 who plays right there where Santa Maria is, and it was due to red card suspension. We're told it's a coach's decision, tactically inclined. The one thing I will tell you, Tyler Caton in there controls the shape. This diamond, when it starts to fluctuate left and right, he's what holds it down. Santa Maria wanders more, but you can use that aggression to your advantage.
Conde trying to be aggressive right now, pushing it into Healy. It's blocked out for a corner.
That's where the attack starts from, too. Real quick decision-making out of the midfield. And then Tag Healy, who's going to have a ton of freedom. You and I, the matchup against the back line. He'll play high, he'll play low, but within all of that, you're asking J.C. Cortez and Leatherman to be very cognizant of where he's going to pop out. His diagonal runs are where he really gets you on these cutbacks to spring up chances like that.
And you mentioned a moment ago the sheer size of this NC State team. They are lethal on set pieces, corners, free kicks, throw-ins in this area become dangerous as well. The in-swinger, back post, still loose there, headed toward goal, off the line. And the whistle blows for a foul against the Wolfpack in the mix of all that traffic. It's Grady Easton down holding his face, wearing the captain's armband.
I thought he took one across the temple when this ball initially came back through. And it is, but it's after the fact with his own goalkeeper, and Abinell. I mean, this is a lot of body coming down on the center back. Oh boy, that is very concerning. An incidental contact on the back post, Ibrahim Conde, and this, as his goalkeeper's coming out to take over the box, you see the oncoming threat from Markovic. Great job by Abinell, and it's excellent to see Grady Easton up and moving.
Grad student, it's been with SLU. He's 2022, 8 starts this season, hasn't appeared in the tournament because of that injury you mentioned earlier, Devin. Last appeared in the A-10 title game. And the Billikens ended up sparking this run. Kevin Kalish, you see first College Cup appearance there. That's as the head coach of this Billikens team. He played in the College Cup for SLU back in the day. 1997, the last time the program made it to a College Cup. He suited up as a player. Now in season number 8 at the helm. Will he take kindly to us showing that, or will he blush a little bit?
He's going to be happy. His barber back in college got a solid uptown fade there. A lot of respect. And the essence that it is to play for SLU. Certainly no doubt that Kalish has carried that on with him throughout his career, has been able to continue on the traditions set forth 50 years ago. The pride that this college takes, the university understanding what it means to wear that badge, all those stars, the pressure that comes along with it. Regardless of age, this group has fully embraced it.
You mentioned the pressure and the ties and the tradition. Not the only person on the field with a knowledge of that tradition. Freshman left winger Jack DiMaria here tonight. His father played for SLU. His father played as a teammate of Coach Kalish. So those ties run deep for the Billikens. Matter of fact, Coach and Jack DiMaria's father, Jeff, best man at each other's wedding, so it runs deep. Took him a little while to get going after he took over. First few years, no tournaments. Now they've made it 4 times in the last 5. Easton gearing up for a long throw, gathering of players around the penalty spot right now, looking for that flick on. It's won by Phillip. For all he does offensively, underrated what Donovan Phillip gives this team defensively on set pieces. Mac Herman, semifinalist. The junior from Castries, St. Lucia. ACC Offensive Player of the Year, All-League First Team. Drafted last year by the Colorado Rapids, elected to come back to school, has certainly only improved his stock going forward. Pulling out of that challenge was McLean, and in an awkward moment, he gets called for a handball. Free kick to the Billikens.
Kevin Kalish, head coach of SLU, though, is going to be happy. He wants to play 3v2 tonight. Keep 3 tall center backs and allow Leatherman to release up high. What that does, start to expose the width of NC State. It's going to put pressure on the far side of Riley Maloney, but also it's going to shift the overall shape in the middle, and that's the most important thing for them, to maintain a presence up high. Allow youngster Jack DiMaria, to float into that 10 spot, get on the ball, and be the creator they need.
DiMaria standing over this free kick right now. The elder statesman could not be more effusive in their praise of the youngster DiMaria. He lays this one off to Cortez. Floated in by the left back. Try from distance here to the traffic, gets blocked. Healy springing it long. Conde chasing and commits the foul.
In case you wondered as to where we were exactly in the country, I don't think there's any doubt NC State's home fans showed up. A couple of miles down the street, just down in front of us. Not happy with the call overall. It's a bit light for me as well. I think it's good pressure on the back shoulder with Ibrahim Conde. Keeping ideas. The night continues to go on. One thing, if you're NC State, Donovan Phillip has done a better job as the year has gone on. He really picked it up midseason as USL2 Player of the Year, working off back shoulder runs. If this back line is to be exposed, it's usually on this left flank because of aggression by J.C. Cortez, 5 in blue, and his pairing next to him in Quentin Blair. That's just about communication when you over pivot. But even if Donovan Phillip can't get on the end of those, he'll drag 1 or 2 bodies with him and start to open up space. That's where Tay Healy comes in.
Yeah, we had asked Mark Hubbard yesterday who benefits the most from what Donovan Phillip is able to do, and the answer was pretty much everybody. Anybody who ends up floating in that space underneath is going to eat because of the space Donovan Phillip creates. You'll see there are only 2 assists this season, but you turn on the tape and there's so many more moments that he creates for others. The assist to the assist to the assist. In college, you credit the secondary, but a lot of the times he's got that tertiary because he's just opening things up for the attack to unfold. Doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it's there on film. As he flicks this one on toward goal. Pari clears. something that came up in our match earlier between Washington as they ended up advancing past Furman. A Furman team that hadn't faced a ton of adversity in their unbeaten run. This NC State team this season hasn't really faced a lot of adversity until they were ousted from the ACC tournament by Syracuse 3-0 on a night where they had a bevy of early chances, could have easily been up 3-4-0 in the first 20 minutes, mind you. They lose 3-0. That set all their refocusing into motion. You look at the scoreline last game against Georgetown 3-2, it seems chaotic. They always felt in control of that game. A pair of clean sheets before that against UNC Greensboro and Marshall.
How crazy was it to hear from goalkeeper Logan Erb about
coming for our job?
I asked him and said, what's the biggest takeaway, the positive that you got from going on the road as opposed to maybe being a higher seed and staying at home? And he said, well, that's the first time we've conceded a game. You and I looked dead stop tracks in each other. That's not possible. And it is. They've only played 6 games on the year, decided by 1 goal or less. That's their only win, and it's the only one in which they conceded, so very telling that the character was able to reign supreme in that match. But St. Louis is accustomed to it. 20 of their games on the year decided by 1 or less. They've only got 1 loss. 10-1-9 in those matches. Their ability not just to survive, kind of what we saw from Furman, they thrive in these pressure-packed situations.
Yeah, I still can't believe that stat, by the way. We had to do a double take. Logan Erb, the goalkeeper, probably would know best. And all those other wins were clean sheets, sure enough. Looking through for Phillip is Conde. Cleans it back up. Conde almost slips it through for Phillip. Picked up by Maloney. NC State throw. Nick Schramm, the midfielder for St. Louis, looks back at Austin Sandy. Felt he was fouled. And this is what I mentioned a moment ago. Everything that's in this vicinity turns into a set piece. Isaac Heffes comes all the way up, and broadcasters jinx, they go short instead. And get the numbers forward. Launch that way. Phillip just wide. That's part of it, though. Every long throw they take, you guard against it, so it opens the door for that short play back and cross.
You'd like the defending to be a little bit tighter, but I don't mind it on the back end because of the way that the ball works itself in. You're making Phillip work back towards the ball. That's about Quentin Blair on the back line. Notice how he steps up into him. You're making the striker check away and then try and release momentum up into the ball. Again, in a pressure-packed spot, head coach Kevin Kalish is going to want that tighter, but it's still good recovery defending by Blair on the back line.
Abonel sends it long. That's something you're going to hear me say a lot tonight. NC State first to it in the air, and they go. Expect a big advantage on anything up in the air for the Wolfpack. Lovelace goes down. Still laid out on the grass. Phillip finds it. Donovan Phillip had it blocked. Healy picks it up. Maloney goes down. Decision to be made. It's a point to a goal kick by Austin Sandy. We'll see if there's a second look. Maloney's not protesting, and that's usually a telltale sign.
Goal kick point got me a little confused as whether or not that was an early Christmas present, to be honest. Didn't feel like there was enough contact working away from us. Watch the arm from Leatherman. Does a good job. No chance. No chance whatsoever. I actually notice how he steps up into him a little bit. What you're forcing there is Riley Maloney to come back to the outside. You bend the run, and that arm just creates a bit of hesitancy and uncertainty for Maloney. Well done by Leatherman.
Leatherman comes in with a lot of experience at the professional level. He's only a junior here at SLU, but he had 2 full seasons in MLS Next Pro before then with Minnesota United too. Sounds like a home game here for NC State, and the ticket sales would show that as well. This place is sold out, and look at the get-in price. General admission tonight, $191. Sunday, 7th row, Flyers Hurricanes 179. No offense to the Canes, who might be Cup favorites this year in the Eastern Conference, but this is the place to be this weekend.
Catching a stray, Carolina Hurricanes, huh? Flyers are going to use that as bulletin board material, no doubt.
This year, UNI started the ACC slate in Raleigh for the Wolfpack against the Tar Heels on a night where NC State set the record, home crowd eclipsing 5,000 fans. One of the best lasting images from that night for UNI, the way the booth is situated there, sort of brick and mortar, right off the street, and right behind us, there's a fence with gaps in it. There were people sticking their heads through that fence to catch a glimpse over our shoulders. Easier to catch a glimpse over my shoulder than yours, but there were people pouring in from everywhere to see that game, and it really set the tone for the season that's been for NC State.
Certainly a testament to what Mark Hubbard has been able to bring back to life, if you will, the relevance of late 80s and early 90s for NC State Wolfpack. But also, I would say it's a real testament to college soccer. Right, there's so many changes going on within this country at every single level of the game, and people sometimes think college soccer has taken a back seat. No chance. 5,000 plus had an excellent opportunity to witness it firsthand, and the young kids that want to be a part of it, right? It's not North Carolina, it's not Duke, it's Mark Hubbard and the Wolfpack, at least for now.
If John Kerr and Carlos Zamorano were listening, you might get a text
what
later.
A step that is.
Leatherman. Able to gather it after he let it run by, trying to direct traffic here. Nearly halfway through this first half, they haven't had much time on the ball in the attacking end, St. Louis. Trying to settle some things down now. 4 shots to none in favor of the Wolfpack to this point. Coming across, Heffis, settled though by Theo Franca. Cary. Schramm. Tucks it back inside for Di Maria. Wide for Cary. Good movement this from St. Louis. Their best sequence of the night. Ends up in a throw. Cary, the grad student from Ivory Coast. Last 3 years spent at Marquette. Second team All A-10 this year with 3 goals and an assist. This is his first start of the tournament, Cary. Previous 4 matches all off the bench, but big minutes off the bench. 82, 71, 65. Goes from the jump tonight. Grady Easton getting all the room he can to launch this one. Falls in front of Phillip. Skied by Markovic. Doesn't take much to get this crowd to rise a few decibels. You can sense the energy. St. Louis not going to shy away from this tonight. Battle tested this year and went 4-1-2 against teams ranked in the coaches poll. A poll that saw NC State at one point this year rise to #1 for the first time in program history. Then came the loss to Virginia. A space here for Healy if he can get there. Take Healy on the left foot. Healy lays it off. Phillip is there. Save made by Abonel.
A little bit slow on the release here from Donovan Phillip. Take Healy recognizes it. He slows down for NC State to allow the run to come. He wants that a half second sooner. If he does, you've got a much better angle and you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Instead, because of that slow decision making by Phillip, Take has to wait and notice the back line. All hands on deck. What a run that is by Leatherman to come all the way back across, and a good save by Abonel.
Second corner for the Wolfpack. They go short. Up top, now driven through the traffic, but cleared. In some ways, not quite as significantly This feels like the start of the Syracuse game that NC State lost 3-0 in the ACC tournament. Onslaught early. Right now, 5 shots, 1 on target for the Wolfpack. Nothing yet for St. Louis. Then that game flipped. Syracuse ended up finding 1, became 2, became 3, and it unraveled for NC State. But after that loss, we had it revealed to us yesterday by the players. They had an hour-and-a-half meeting where everybody stood up and got something off their chest. So while this game may mirror that one in some ways, they were ready to handle it this time. That one curled out before it came back in. And Austin Seni stopping the clock here is calling somebody over. Looks like Franca and Lovelace, and now getting into it, Lovelace and Cary. Tension's running hot here in the early going. Have to keep a level head. It's easy to feed off this kind of crowd and lose your head.
Hot tackles flying around the backside. Watch on the right. Lovelace, he didn't like the actual contact right here that Franca was trying to insinuate. Actually, I think Franca can't see it from that angle, took a shot a little bit lower than he would have liked, maybe questioning dessert. Got to continue to push back if you're St. Louis. Kevin Kalish very clear about the fact that they don't need the ball at their feet, but they do need to shrink the field. He feels like mid to high, he's got to be able to pin this team in. And if you're NC State right now, I'd be a little bit concerned you don't have Santa Maria on the ball a little bit more. It's predictable. While they have found some movements coming forward, it's direct, and it allows SLU to just keep the game in front of them, which is exactly what they want defensively. You start to work around Santa Maria. Even if you can't play in him, he drags space, backline can come high, and so can the 2 midfielders, and Lovelace and Justin McLean.
And a reminder, what was told to us by the assistant coaches of NC State before the match tonight, just coach's decision to not start Tyler Caton. Give the look of Carlos Santa Maria instead. You wonder at what point they do go back to Caton in that instance. Memphis commits the foul on Franca.
I like Theo Franca's work ethic and willingness to do the dirty job down underneath. Yeah, I talked about the depth in the open, Joe, getting everybody healthy, and one of the biggest assets that St. Louis has at their disposal. Franca's a big talking point on that, the way that he can work outside in, play up high as the 9, but also his flexibility to come down into the midfield and start to take some pressure off of Jack DiMaria, get forward facing on the game.
I mentioned it's a big physical, athletic NC State team. They've committed 5 fouls already. You wonder if at some point the card comes out of the pocket from Austin Sani to settle things down. No cards shown yet. Logan Erb has really been a spectator. Comes out to retrieve this one. Goalkeeper of the year, all-league first team, and statistician apparently. Free kick for the Billikens. Silly foul this time from Riley Maloney. I didn't feel like there was a need for that in that moment, in that space, and now St. Louis have an opportunity to whip one in. How do you slay a beast like NC State in what is essentially a home game for a team that doesn't feel like it has any weaknesses? It hasn't really shown much of it in this tournament in NC State. Well, if you're St. Louis, this is how you do it. On a set piece, see if you can strike quickly with DiMaria standing on it. DiMaria delivers. Healy settles. Leatherman to keep it alive. DiMaria. Leatherman. Nowhere to go, forces it back. Fournier. Pori. JC Cortez. One thing that's very evident for this St. Louis team, the wingbacks both with pro experience before coming to St. Louis. Leatherman, as I mentioned earlier, an MLS Next Pro with Minnesota United too. JC Cortez in USL Championship with New York Red Bulls too. And a good chat with Carlos Leatherman yesterday about so many players on this St. Louis team having that experience, what it's meant for them coming together now. In this day and age of player development, that's commonplace. And here is Leatherman once again. Pushing it ahead, Anderson. Corner for the Billikens. First of the night. And Anderson tries to wave up the crowd down there, sporting a lot more blue. That's where the traveling SLU supporters are.
Good job in the hold-up pressure by Di Maria, dragging 3 players with him. The step-up in by Leatherman. There's a lot of moving pieces here for this SLU team. Over the last 4 matches, Kevin Kalish has found consistency. No changes in the 11. We've had 3 positionally due to 1 injury. And Draven Barnett. And they've started the game quite well, though. No issues.
Austin Sani comes in to keep the peace first. It's Maloney and Franca at the heart of it this time. Franca's been at the heart of a lot of this so far. Getting under the skin, perhaps, of this Wolfpack back line. 18th start of the season with Theo Franca, 5 goals and an assist to his name. All freshmen in 2025 in the A10.
Oh, Blair's on.
And swinger flicked on by Phillip and out for another corner.
That's good movement there within the box. There's a coming to. It's rough contact between the two in NC State. Really like the movement off the ball for St. Louis, though. A lot of decoys for the Billikens with the dead ball. And within all of that movement, the two colliding. Ibrahim Condé and Riley Maloney. Nice to see him up in movement. First to the masseuse table for sure.
Which one?
I'll go with my defender, obviously.
I figured you would.
Taking the corner kick for St. Louis, number 12, Jack DiMaria.
It'll be Di Maria to take it from this corner, the in-swinger coming. It's 2 goals and 3 assists. Di Maria drops this one in. Erb through traffic, ball is loose in front. Erb ends up with it. Striding through Condé, off his line, clearing it, Abonel.
Uncharacteristic by Logan Erb, but understanding with all the traffic in front, he's got to tell Isaac Heffes to get out of the way. And if not, go right through him. Listen, it's that simple. If you're going to commit, and Logan Erb would tell you this, if I'm going to come off my line, I better be sure I'm going to get it. It's no different than a center back leaving his feet. It's just a bit of hesitancy there that we're not used to seeing from Logan Erb.
Took him a little while to bloom. Logan Erb went into San Diego State as the number 12 ranked goalkeeper in his recruiting class. Ended up transferring last year to NC State. This is where he's come into his own. Change now on the Wolfpack side. Condé comes off after that bit of friendly fire, defending that last corner. Aiden Payne takes his spot. Aiden Payne's motor is unmatched going forward for NC State.
Because I talked to the NC State coaching staff and I said, what did you like so far about this first half? And they paused for a moment and said, I don't really know. It feels like 2 guys are just trading punches right now and neither team is really settled in. On the flip side, when I talked to St. Louis, they've been very pleased with the response. They tasked their team to meet the physicality and they feel like they've done that well.
That physicality continuing here. That is 8 fouls now on the NC State side. Not a 1 committed yet by St. Louis.
Defensive marking has been better for St. Louis. They've shrunk the field at the right times. when you start to work up high a little bit, got to understand you got to drag these runners with you down into the channel, work on those secondary runs into the box. It's something they become much better at as the season has gone on. I'd like to see more movement up front from NC State. We didn't see enough out of Conde. We haven't got enough out of Phillip. Tag Healy's a bit quiet. Continue to push the tempo here. Also takes pressure off this back line.
Cortez, Donovan Phillip once again meeting it in the air. Tag Healy trying to break away. Callum Tommy eyeing up Healy, feeds it through to himself instead on the other side. Callum Tommy continues, end line, Tommy cuts it back, still in. Tommy delivering. Phillip leaves it. Healy chips it. Settled by Lovelace on the volley. That's how NC State can work back in. Just when it feels like they're under it, they've got the horses to turn it right back around.
Yeah, while it's not Donovan Phillip, this is that angle I was talking about. And over the overexposure, with J.C. Cortez. Now, good defensive coverage by Leatherman. But that's the understanding of Callum Tommy. Notice he has the ability with space, sees the overcommittal by the right back Leatherman coming back in. That ball, I would have liked that ball on the ground. Tag Healy can produce the spectacular, but you had 3 separate runners atop the 18. Emotion starting to run high. You haven't had as many opportunities. Clean in decision making on that cutback. Real good chance it's 1-0 NC State.
You mentioned emotions. Callum Tommy, among the very select few of players on this roster that maybe feel it more so. Only 4 guys on this roster, holdovers from the previous regime. Everybody else is either a freshman or a transfer in the 2 years that Mark Hubbard has taken over. But Callum Tommy and Drew Lovelace, both involved on that last play, are 2 of the 4 holdovers. Healy wants to get it to his left foot if he can, drops it back instead for Santa Maria. Markovic, Maloney, McLean back to Maloney, touch a little too heavy. It's interesting that comment Marion relayed to us a moment ago on the NC State side, that they don't feel like much has happened and it's just punchers trading blows right now. If you look at the stats, it paints a different picture. It's 6 shots to nothing in favor of NC State, but it hasn't felt that way. It's felt like SLU's been right there. They've had set pieces. They've had their own moments.
Most of it came in the opening 10 minutes, too. Well, the first one, 10 seconds in? And then one after another. That's how they get you, but also you got to continue to push the tempo up high. Here's the emotion again. They're frustrated with the whistles that they feel like have unnecessarily come against them. The physicality of this team just getting themselves in trouble right now. Agree or disagree, you have to understand as a player, the whistle's tight on you right now. You got to start to work off of that a little bit. The space is here. Don't overstep. You can still be physical, Joe, and not get yourself into trouble.
Xavi O'Neal comes in for Kareem Pari on the SLU side. Xavi O'Neal has some familiarity with NC State, a transfer from Boston College in the ACC over to SLU this year. Phillip through, Payne chasing, great tackle. Quentin Blair roars as he gets back to his feet. O'Neal. Xavi O'Neal feeding it through. Dangerous ball that was toward the back post. O'Neal again. O'Neal in front. NC State holds strong. A watch party going on in St. Louis.
Oh,
you want to be there right now or here next to me?
I mean, there's no place I'd rather be right now than up in Gantry with you, but I'll tell you, what I call Mecca in this country for soccer at every single level. St. Louis, having been there firsthand, it's a very interesting and emotional experience to get an opportunity to witness the World's game in St. Louis. Fun one, and I would imagine there's some adult waters floating around right now within that group.
Lovelace. Back to Tommy. Program that dominated 50s, 60s, 70s, all 10 of their national titles coming in that stretch. Haven't won one in 52 years. Haven't been to College Cup since 1997. Santa Maria wins it. McLean drops it back to Markovic. You could build a center back in a lab. Niko Markovic, that was my first impression of seeing him up close in person yesterday.
I did build him. he is something special. Niko Markovic, the Quebec native. Montreal background. You know, the wonderment as what has been him getting better and better over the course of the season.
Payne delivering, back post, oh, tantalizingly through. Avenel didn't get a piece of it. Phillip keeps it alive. Phillip wants it back. McLean gets it instead. Work through to Healy. Take Healy to Lovelace. It bounces for Payne. Still loose for Lovelace. Flashes wide. Goal kick.
Much better rotation out of the midfield, starting to spring some space on the outside now. You've got constant pressure right now from Aiden Payne. Still the lack of recognition by Donovan Phillip to get on the second one. I like the idea here from Tate Healy. The problem is that Drew Lovelace had started to commit to the top of the six. As he goes, Joe, his back has to now turn to the game. Again, as emotional as this is right now, mid-season, that ball's probably brought down by Lovelace and laid back, and they work around it. Something that they've started to do over the last 5 minutes, something we've asked for, but the moment just got the better of NC State there. Hubbard's going to be happy, though. They've started to fight back.
9 to go in this first half. Chances mounting and rising for the Wolfpack. Herb upfield. Easton.
They're moving this midfield. I'm very impressed by St. Louis and the effectivity on the inside, understanding they'd like better options coming forward. Starting to get that out of O'Neill.
Xavi again, end line, driving it in front. Same result as last time. He's getting there. It's what SLU is doing once they get there that's lacking at the moment.
It's the first ball, though. You know, they're working around the initial line of pressure. Tate Healy's getting caught out of position a little bit, and within it, Drew Lovelace, McLean are having a rough time. Still think Santa Maria needs more of a role within this, but they've got to have more activity in the midfield to start to free up some chances going forward and get pressure off of this back line. They're chasing too much right now. Even when they don't have the ball, it's wide open for them.
10,945 sold out. That First Horizon Stadium here in Cary. That's what you get when the team who's playing in their backyard ends up in the College Cup. 5 miles down the road, the campus of NC State. Hayden Tolentino enters the fray now for Lovelace. Not the only change in that interval for NC State. Also, Tomas Lamai. Haven't seen much of Tomas Lamai as of late. Just 31 minutes he's played in 3 appearances in this tournament. Interestingly, still no Tyler Caton. We expected a lock to start, not in the 11. Again, we asked the assistant on the NC State staff down on the field before the game, once we saw the lineup come out. They just said coach's decision for tactical reasons, and that Caton is fine. Free kick for the Billikens.
First ball out, good numbers up high. Still continued work rate off the ball as they push back further and further. Heckenleibel doing the dirty work. Understanding, Joe, I said this about 5 minutes ago. If you're wearing an NC State jersey, like it or not, the whistle's tight. Okay, you're almost going to get called for anything. So all the more reason, especially when you're pinned in here, got to play a little bit smarter. We've seen it too many times that although we understand it's part of their DNA to punch in, to be aggressive, you don't have that luxury right now.
10 fouls already for NC State. St. Louis have not committed one still. It's physical one way. Di Maria calls over Cortez. 4 in the wall. Wicked left foot for Cortez. It is Di Maria dropping it in, but headed clear by Heffis. Collision goes NC State's way. That's their first foul of the evening. Under 5 remaining in this first half. Bowl season begins Saturday with 2 games on ABC and the ESPN app. First at noon Eastern, South Carolina State against Prairie View A&M in the Cricket Celebration Bowl, followed by the bucked up LA Bowl between Boise State and Washington at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
I think Jamie Clark's going to be able to stay up past his bedtime. Watch that.
Jamie Clark is going to stay up late because it's birthday.
Oh, not because he won tonight, head coach of Washington. He's getting acclimated to the Eastern time zone. A little espresso, he'll be fine.
Double shot. One thing that, again, floats under the radar for now. NC State, yes, playing with fire with some of their fouls and the free kicks and corners they've given up. They have not allowed a shot on or off target to this Billikens side. It has been a stellar defense all year. A goals against average coming into the night of .429. Among the best in the nation. Best shutout percentage, most clean sheets, you name it. NC State did it defensively this year. So while it hasn't been perfect overall, they still have not given up a shot. Here comes Phillip, look out. Quentin Blair just saw it in the nick of time over his shoulder. Lamai. Finds a way through. Still Tomas Lamai. Corner for the Wolfpack. Corner number 3. Haven't been dangerous on set pieces so far in the few opportunities they've had. Red Terrors down on the far side alongside the band for the Wolfpack. They've got a perfect view of this corner coming in from Riley Maloney. Well, they have a perfect view of a goal to get the Wolfpack on their way as well. Maloney, Phillip is there, still loose in front, bouncing around, shot toward goal, deflected wide. They'll do it again from the corner. Lamai with the shot.
What a redirect off the back post this was. Timing really difficult on the in-swinger for Maloney. That's the physical side of Phillip to keep it alive. Take Healy, heard the footsteps. You know, if he could have this one back, he leads with his head. He had a really good chance to step through this on the half volley. Take Healy did. They still get a half chance out of it, but right there on the backside. Becomes a little bit fearful, pulls out of it, and not the option that they wanted.
Grady Easton was sitting down a moment ago, slow to get up. He's been down once already when his goalkeeper fell on him. Playing tonight for the first time in this tournament because of another injury he was nursing. It's a question of how long he can go. They hope to push him 90 if they can. Maloney from the corner once more. Same service as last time. Phillip couldn't get a piece of it this time though. And a goal kick coming. At halftime, we'll recap what we saw earlier. Washington over Furman. Our soccer crew will honor V Week. Still scoreless here for now. It's got a minute 45 to change. There's the backside of Patty Foss and Alyssa Lang. Oh, nice turn at the end there from Patty. He knows where the camera is. He's a professional.
No love
Little
whatsoever.
blue steel.
Just dropped him in a hand warmer. He's working on his Ferrari look. It's not ready yet. We'll get it at halftime.
2014 national champion at UVA, and he's got the tattoo to prove it.
There's no real consistency in shape in this game for NC State. Struggling to be on the ball when it comes up over the top, not winning enough secondary options for Mark Hubbard, head coach. Even moments like this is where the change within the midfield, play through, come the opposite direction, release. Caleb, tell me, bottom of your screen, 13 white. One of the staples of this attack is high, aggressive outside backs, and they have not committed to that in the first half.
Franca trying to stride away from Santa Maria. Franca does win it. Theo Franca from Orlando by way of Brazil. 17 starts, 5 goals and an assist coming in. Countdown thrown in. Have to hurry here for one last chance. Herb has it, and we will go to the break scoreless in Cary. St. Louis, the winningest program all time in terms of national titles with 10. NC State looking for their first national championship in their College Cup appearance in 2025. Last made it in 1990. Still looking for trophy number 1. Wolfpack had moments early. St. Louis grew into the game, and Marion Crowder is standing by with Mark Hubbard.
Coach, hard to get a rhythm in that first half. How do you improve that in the second?
Yeah, we're going to find those times where we can settle it down in the attacking half and keep moving it and not giving them those countering situations where things can get pretty slippery and we have to go all the way back and defend those set pieces.
You held St. Louis to no shots in that first half. What did you like about the defensive presence of your group?
We take pride in defending. I'm glad that we weathered some of those storms. I think we'll create some of these attacking chances in transition with some space that we need to do better at, and we look really dangerous on our corner kicks.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
As Marion mentioned, no shots in that first half for St. Louis. Only the second time this year the Billikens have been held without a shot in the first half. Very physical in the first 45 minutes. A lot of physical play, some chances, but no goals. Scoreless between St. Louis and NC State, with a spot in Monday's final against Washington on the line. More to come from Cary.
Welcome back to Cary, North Carolina, where we are at the break between St. Louis and NC State. Scoreless in what has been a physical, chippy first half between the Billikens and the Wolfpack. As we welcome you back inside First Horizon Stadium, Patty Foss, Alyssa Lang here with you. We're going to get into that Washington game in just a moment as we watch the Huskies earlier today punch their ticket to Monday's national championship, awaiting the winner of this one, which we still have a ways to go in the semifinal number 2. We'll bring you the second half in just a moment. Chippier first half of this game or your race against Devin yesterday?
My race against Devin was over in a couple seconds, so it had to be this. But listen, and all jokes aside, St. Louis was phenomenal, I thought, in that half, in just sort of mudding the waters enough when NC State was in possession. We talk about the physicality, but St. Louis did a really good job in stretching the game wide and forcing the Wolfpack to play in those wide areas. We talked earlier about how dangerous they can be centrally. So while they don't have any shots, I think St. Louis, 45 minutes has been fantastic thus far.
Yeah, we were told that the Huskies are somewhere here scouting, whether they're already back at the hotel or still enjoying that win over Furman earlier today. It was a suffocating offensive performance from Washington today, Patty.
Well, that's right, and Washington from the start just jumped on Furman and didn't let them out of their own half. They were rewarded in the end through this Zach Ramsey goal, a fantastic slip there from Alex Hall. And then they just really poured on the pressure. It wasn't any sort of stopping here from Washington. It was go, 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 and they were rewarded again with a second here. It's a little bit of a misplay from Ryan Wagner, but give credit to the center forward, Charlie Kosakoff, because he does so well in rounding the keeper and getting a 2-0 lead into halftime.
Could have been a 4-1 game. We saw a goal called back from offsides in the second half, and it was something that Zach Ramsey talked about after the game, knowing that, yes, the offense was firing on all cylinders, but they had some opportunities that they didn't quite put away. Got to take a lot of confidence from this one, though, into Monday.
Well, that's right, and that's who this team is. Again, they don't stop. I mean, they can press for 80, 90 minutes, and that's what we saw again. This was a fantastic third goal in the end. It's a team goal. They win it deep in their own half, but again, we've talked time and time about Alex Hall and his presence off the bench. He does so well in combining through midfield, and the right back, Asher Hestad, with a banger to find that third goal. But give a lot of credit to Furman because they didn't quit. They kept playing. That's been the character of this team. That's been the character of Doug Allison for 31 years as the skipper. And they had a banger of their own through Luke Hutzel. In the end, too little, too late, but a fantastic run for the Furman Paladins throughout this 2025 campaign.
And you see what it looked like from a numbers standpoint, pretty lopsided just in the first category with shots and shots on target. Washington with 24 to Furman 6, and most of those coming in the second half. They ended the first half with just 2 shots offensively. If you're Washington, how do you feel like you match up based on what we saw tonight against either of these teams, whoever ends up getting the win?
I think you don't care, honestly.
Sure.
I mean, they were so dominant in that first game with that press that we've talked time and time again. If they can do that again on Monday, it's not going to matter who they play because their opponent was unable to build out of the back, and they were able to dictate the pace of play really from minute 1 through minute 90.
Jamie Clark was with us after the game and talked about being here for the last time in 2021. Just one player on that team remains. What do the next couple of days look like from someone who played in a national championship? What does it look like to get mentally and physically prepared for Monday?
Well, what's really interesting is these student athletes are in the middle of finals.
Yeah.
So they're going to have academics, and we know that Washington does. So there's a piece of that, but there's also a camaraderie aspect. You're going to want to lay low. There's a lot of physical rejuvenation that needs to happen in the next 48 hours, and then you have to flip the page very quickly to what will be a fantastic opponent, regardless of which of these two teams it is.
What was it, a physics exam for Zach Ramsey? Shout out to you, Zach. That is pretty unbelievable. Now you're going to play in a national championship on Monday night. We'll get into this game and what we expect in the second half coming up after this.
Cancer touches so many lives. A family member, a friend, a coworker. For the first time in nearly a decade, our ESPN soccer broadcast family is without our Emmy Award-winning assistant director, Amy Kimball. Amy is far more than a colleague. She's a friend, a mother, a grandmother, and currently, a tenacious cancer fighter. Amy, we miss your professionalism, your wit, your laughter, but mostly, we just miss you. Keep fighting, get well, and get back to making us all better at what we do. If you are able, please support the critical work of the V Foundation for Cancer Research at v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research.
Welcome back to halftime of the Men's College Cup semifinal number 2 between St. Louis and NC State. Scoreless right now with 45 minutes left to play. Let's show you what the first half looked like. We mentioned it was physical. There was plenty of chirping, Patty Foss. I think wishing each other a happy holidays just a little early.
Well, perhaps. That's the bright side if you want to take that, Alyssa. But there's one commonality throughout these highlights and throughout that first half for NC State. When they were dangerous, oftentimes it came through the feet of that man, Tate Healy. He popped up in really good spots. This is a good slip in behind for Donovan Phillip. In the end, a good save there at the near post from Jerry Avenel. But NC State started to build into the second half, and while they were some of those half chances, they started to find pockets of space in behind in wide areas of St. Louis. Their best chances, though, came in moments like this when you could get to the end line and you could cut balls back there. Aiden Payne was a really good one across. But St. Louis, they bend, but they don't break. I mean, you have to feel really solid about the fact that these are the best chances that they gave up all half. No clear-cut ones on that frame.
Yeah, for it to still be scoreless and NC State have 8 total shots to St. Louis's 0. Patty, what has to change in the second half for St. Louis to get some more shots on goal?
Well, I'm not sure they're going to want to change a ton tactically because they were really good in keeping the Wolfpack in front of them and not allowing for some of those really quality chances. What they will want to do, though, is when they can get in that NC State defensive half and they can push NC State back a little bit, can they be a little bit better with the ball at your feet, get the ball wide yourself, play through some of those wingbacks, those really talented wingbacks that we know the Billikens have. And then I really do think if you're St. Louis, you have to be really focused on set pieces because you get the feeling that if they're going to break through here, potentially it'll be on a set piece.
You mentioned Tag Healy and Donovan Phillip making up the majority of the shot attempts for NC State quickly. Surprised to not see Tyler Caton out there?
Certainly surprised. I mean, he is the backbone of that holding midfield spot. Haven't gotten a lot of information on his absence, but it certainly is a big one for NC State.
We'll see what the second half has in store. Scoreless right now. The winner goes to the national championship where they will face Washington on Monday night. Second half coming up.
Scoreless to begin half number 2 after an interesting first half between St. Louis and NC State that certainly had 2 different phases within it. Our Marion Crowder caught up with Kevin Kalish at the break.
Coach, you weathered the first 8 minutes of that one, but you settled in nicely. What did you like about the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think again, I thought the first 10 they turned our backs a little bit. I thought as the game settled, I thought we played their half the field. I thought we generated some good chances.
You mentioned the key to beating this NC State team was making them defend for long stretches. How do you do that more in the second?
Yeah, we got to play the game in their half the field. So we got to win the territory battle. We got to win the first. We got to win the seconds. We got to stay in their half. We got to repress well. And again, we got to make them defend.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
So 1973 was the last time St. Louis won an NCAA title. 1997, the last time they were in a College Cup. 1959 was the first time they won an NCAA title. And yes, we have the footage. Devin, I know you were there front row with tickets, but this is in Storrs, Connecticut, running through puddles. I don't know what's going on here, but this is how the Billikens won their first natty.
I mean, dear Lord, you hear stories about that Indiana Duke game in the 80s, and now there were basically no rules until they just made them up at the end as they went along. 1959, a glimmer in the eye of your parents that probably hadn't even met at that point in time. And chroma color, nowhere near a talking point.
My parents weren't born for another 12 years.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I didn't throw them under the bus. You did that on your own, but certainly no doubt that for that man right there, Kevin Kalish and St. Louis Billikens, what once was, and I still call Mecca for football in this country. On the collegiate level, he has clawed this university back. This is not a flash in the pan. The 2021 team, well, certainly no remnants players-wise, would love to get a shot at what is waiting in the final. They were 20 games unbeaten before Jamie Clark and the Washington Huskies eliminated their chance at a national title in the Elite Eight. Good opening 45 minutes. Going to take a lot more here in the second, though.
NC State right to left in the white, SLU left to right in the blue, and away we go in the second half. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us for the 4th of 4 halves this evening on semifinal day. Will 4 halves be enough to wrap the day up, or do we have overtime beyond? Scoreless between the Billikens and the Wolfpack. Still no sign of Tyler Caton on the NC State side. At Santa Maria is still in that holding midfield role. Erb waited too long, deflects. Markovic has to bring it back in. Didn't end up spinning out of play. Erb, Santa Maria, now they can go. Dangerous moment though on the back end. Conde down in the middle of the park. McLean, Maloney, and a corner for the Wolfpack as Conde is slowly limping back into the play. their 5th corner now, NC State. Comes up there over the sideline. See, back behind the play. He's held, he's brought down, falls awkwardly.
Too easy.
Yep.
Now, there's certainly contact. The arms are away from the body, but he initiates it and continues to embellish his overall positioning. Well done by the crew on the no call.
Hamstring issues have really derailed Conde's season, but he's gotten healthy as of late. 4th start tonight in the tournament. Transfer from New Hampshire, where he was playing under Mark Hubbard. Short from the corner, Maloney pops it back out. Santa Maria floats it in. Loose there for Phillip. Pounced to by Avenel.
Nearly every chance that we've seen on set pieces, recycled, short or not, the intuition of where the ball's going to go, the reaction time, very slow in nature for NC State. They haven't been able to get their timing down, something that has certainly created success over the course of the season. And to go back to some of the half chances in the first half where balls did fall within the 18, there's not a ton of marking here that is really getting in their way.
Mark Hubbard came over. Was he having a chat with Marion? He was in the area. Maybe the old Georgia Bulldog had a few pointers for Mark Hubbard on what she's seen from the first few minutes of the second half.
Well, I didn't get any pointers for Mark Hubbard, but I did get to talk to some of the St. Louis coaching staffs while Kevin was in there giving the team the message, and they are expecting this NC State Wolfpack team to come out very direct, very hot was the word they used in the second half, expecting Mark to have given them quite a riled-up speech at half.
They've been in this position before this year, St. Louis. 14 times held scoreless through halftime. 5 of those games they ended up winning. For a team that abides by the mantra, fighting spirit. You'll see that printed on the wall in the locker room at SLU. They've embodied that in this 14-match unbeaten run. They've rallied from behind to win or tie 8 times as well. They don't have to do that yet right now. They just always scratch and claw and find ways, even when it looks bleak, as it did last round. Down 2-0 against Akron. They win it 3-2 on a goal with about 2 minutes left. Donovan Phillip. A little breather to begin this second half. Conde in his spot right now atop the formation. Curious when the time comes and Phillip re-enters if it's for Conde and Conde's night would be done based on the substitution rules, or if it's for somebody else and they play alongside each other again. Different options and different looks that Mark Hubbard can throw at St. Louis depending on how things go in the next 10 or so minutes. You expect around the half-hour mark. Turns out the patterns work out as to when Phillip would re-enter. Freddie Easton, long throw, bounces once. Santa Maria digs it out. Schramm, O'Neal. Chavi O'Neal shifty with the ball, gets end line. O'Neal once again tries to cut it back. He's at one time too many. Feeds it edge of the area for Schramm. A lot of traffic there. Schramm trying to wade his way through it. Conde comes away. Leatherman.
Much better defensively. So the work rate that you just got, I keep talking about the activity level of this midfield diamond. Positionally working together, right? If you start to pull Take Healy over and you shift, you got to shift together. Too many times in the first half, we saw them on the same plane and on opposite sides of the field. That was much better how they worked together to the near side, creating the numerical advantage.
McLean through for Healy. Take Healy for Maloney. If he gets there, he does. Maloney, back post, lobs it up. Knocked down for Healy. Doesn't get there in time. Lovelace curling wide.
Our talking point 5 minutes to go in the first half was about getting your outside backs higher. Tommy and Maloney, much better. Started with the insertion of numbers centrally, opens up space on the outside. The drifted ball, so difficult to defend because it's up over the back shoulder. Timing, positioning, and Healy nearly on the cutback. That movement right there, outside of not hitting the back of the net, is prototypical Wolfpack football.
As this camera widens out here, there's an empty section that you'll see on the right side of your screen. That's where the Red Terrors were. They have migrated now behind the goal of Jeremy Abinell, and we'll let him hear it in this second half. The supporter section of NC State. There it is, top of your screen. That was where they were. They have migrated all the way across the field now behind Abinell's goal. That's what a general admission ticket, I guess, gets you. Freedom to travel with the opposing goalkeeper. Conde, Santa Maria, Markovic, Hefis, Tommy. Lovelace threads for Tommy. Calum Tommy through. Conde! Saved by Abinell!
Get everything you want here if you're Mark Hubbard. Just talked about it. Representation on the outside. What a job by Lovelace. Holding this run, opening up the space down in the channel. Ball is sublime. The timing, absolutely perfect, but no chance, given the form that we've seen out of Abinell in goal for SLU, that this is going in. Difficult. He's got to get deep. He's got to explode quickly. That core power by the goalkeeper, absolutely perfect for the Billikens.
Nearly for Conde. Corner number 6 now for the Wolfpack. Santa Maria, good ball, dropping it in. The header saved again by Abinell. Loose in front and cleared. Healy doesn't get there. Goal kick.
A lot of talk about Logan Erb from NC State and the best goalkeeper in the country right now. An absolute clinic being put on by his counterpart in Abinell. Body's in front of him. The way that he's got to laterally shift, he's still got to be explosive in nature. Notice the big body in front. Gets low, an immediate response. SLU players all around him. Wolfpack on the hunt. But again, I mean, that is an unreal save to begin with, and a recovery by Abinell in goal.
Bewilderment from Conde. This St. Louis team, in large part, looks up to Abinell. Had a good conversation with the players we chatted with yesterday about the interesting mix that is the SLU roster. A lot of young guys and a lot of old guys. Really not a lot of middle guys, sophomores, juniors. Abinell, the oldest of those guys, 25-year-old goalkeeper. And let's just say, when we talked about the elder statesman of the group, Quentin Blair, who's a senior himself, was very quick to throw Abinell under the bus as the oldest guy in the group. They all gravitate toward him. He wears that captain's armband. And he does things like he's done the last few minutes. Marion mentioned a few moments ago that Kevin Kaler said NC State would come out hot and that this would be a storm they have to weather. Through Abinell's efforts, they're weathering it for now, but will it continue for the Wolfpack? They weathered a similar 8-minute stretch to begin the game. St. Louis then settled in, but this stretch is now beyond those 8 minutes. It's gone on for 10. Tommy. Donovan Phillip has gone down toward the corner to begin warming up again for the Wolfpack. And based on their patterns, you expect sometime around the 30-minute mark for him to come back in. The way Conde is playing right now, I don't know if that'll be a like for like. They might want those two alongside each other again. Long throw, right back where it came from. And Heffes will just wait and do it again. Get the flick on this time.
Easy, easy, easy.
Conde still. He goes down. Referee gives the free kick. Thought about playing advantage, but you want a free kick from that spot 10 times out of 10.
It's a combination of two players. Di Maria just leaves his body in. And on the back end of it, watch the dragging leg by Ibrahim Conde. He knows what he's doing. If you're Di Maria, you don't need to create the contact there. The ball's coming negative in nature. And if anything, don't put doubt out there for the referee, especially on the position right there from our head ref. Had the good angle to be able to see even the slightest bit of touches. And it started to shade a little bit more NC State, as tight as the whistle was in the first half against them, now favoring the Wolfpack.
Austin Sani, the referee, has kept good control of what has been a physical game. Mostly one-sided, 11 fouls against NC State. That's just the third now against St. Louis. But it comes in a vital moment, in a vital spot, with Santa Maria and Maloney standing over it. Maloney, back post, open header! Markovic didn't need to go full Superman, he was unmarked.
Well, there was some contact at top of the 18. With the amount of bodies in front of us, couldn't see if it was intentional or not. Left side of your screen, nope, no chance there. But on the pick, Markovic is going to want that back. He's so good as an aerial threat. Plenty of space, plenty of time. Just misjudged it. No, he puts his head down right at the end. You got to lean through it there, and he knows it.
Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. It was Grady Easton at the center of that again. Third time he's gone down now and been on the wrong side of a collision. For a player who came in nursing an injury and hasn't played yet in this tournament, he is going to need himself an ice bath at the end of the night. Although it is below freezing now, so maybe the warm tub instead. You go ice, then heat, then ice. Healy scanning, uses Maloney. Maloney running away from Leatherman, not his best service.
Be careful on this near touchline. Leatherman's a little bit high and tucked to the inside, starting to overly expose themselves on the width here. NC State have done a good job taking advantage of that space.
Doesn't feel like we've said Tate Healy's name enough for NC State's liking. The more he's on it, the better. 3 goals, 8 assists this season for the number 10 in white. Donovan Phillip is up and ready to come back in now, as expected, right around the half-hour mark. It's coming on for Frankie DiFrancesco. So we will once again see Conde alongside Phillip.
Number 7, Donovan Phillip. He replaces number 11, Frankie DiFrancesco.
Heffes, long throw. Markovic couldn't flick it on. Back to Heffes. Poor clearance. McLean had to go. Healy, weaker foot. Not great contact. Phillip, Lovelace, flag stayed down. Donovan Phillip had it blocked. Markovic sends it long. Another opportunity for a long throw if the Wolfpack choose to use it. Getting numbers forward. Here comes Markovic again up the field. Healy lays it off. Heffis serving. McLean. Heffis stays onside to the end line. Heffis drives it in front, shout for a handball. From this vantage point, it looked to be. We'll see if Austin Sandy goes for a look. He's stopping the clock, and he will come over. First look, penalty for me. We'll see on the replay.
This starts on the far side, though. Leatherman's going to want this back. Number 2 for St. Louis. The head comes right down the middle of the park. Can't do that. Gives it back to NC State. Love how he holds pressure here. Justin McLean releasing the run down into the corner. Gotta be, right? From that angle, arms away from the body, unnatural position. Extended away, not near the torso. Harder to tell from that angle, but the first 2 that we saw, don't be surprised if the referee points to the spot here.
Sometimes players sort of referee themselves, and Drake Fournier sort of walked away knowingly once the signal was given for the review. Look,
clear as day.
I was about to say, there's gray area sometimes in the handball rule.
Yeah, I mean, that look
this
right
is pretty
there.
Clear.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, Joe, because being a former center back, when you drift over, your momentum comes, you go to slide, your natural tendency to maintain balance, that arm's gonna come up to brace. It holds your equilibrium. In the modern day of football, we don't have the ability to do that. It's emotion, it's a college semifinal, it's the understanding that you've gotta stay tight here in your decision making, and as you rotate back over, you want that arm tucked up underneath, going to ground. Again, would expect the referee to point to the spot here.
Now, if this does turn out to be the penalty we expect it to be, Jeremy Abonel in goal has had a knack for stopping penalties, as we showed you top of the broadcast. Here comes a decision from Austin Sandy.
After review, the call on the field has been overturned. The decision is penalty kick, handball.
Well, we know. Now this crowd is about to find out, and listen to the roar you will hear when he points to the spot.
Again, I feel for him as a defender. Going to ground there, you're trying to make a play, your body tells you one thing, your mind's got to stay resolute and help get you to another. And instead, Old Faithful, Jeremy Abonel, words of encouragement from his center back and one of the leaders of this group, Quentin Blair, that although a great opportunity here for NC State, certainly not over the line. And he has been excellent from penalties in this postseason.
Diamond Phillip with the ball in hand, but he's going to give it up. It will be Drew Lovelace, 5 goals this season, 9 in his Wolfpack career. One of the 4 players still in the program from before Mark Hubbard taking over last year. Been with the program since 2022. Poetic that he's the man in this moment, facing Abonel with 29:10 to go. Drew Lovelace, saved by Abonel!
Go back to it, 100% a penalty. Referee overturns it. How's the take itself? Not bad, not great, but perfect from Abonel once again.
Corner for NC State. That's the type of moment, though, that can galvanize a team.
He sees it the whole way. I mean, it's an absolute joke, the read that this goalkeeper gets on this from 12 yards out. It's not a bad penalty, but it certainly isn't the best we've ever seen out of Lovelace. And Abenel makes it look like a walk in the park.
7th corner for NC State. Santa Maria stands over. Abenel. He knew. He knew.
Just another day, right? Just
Again.
another game, another stadium. No big deal, boys. Back to business.
Again, we showed you early on the penalty saves he made in the previous stops in this tournament. A knack for just that, and he did it again. Maloney tries to pop it over the top. Not clean contact.
Got to get some pressure off here, though. This is the entire second half has been all NC State. You're pinned too deep. I like the idea of how good their recovery defending has been, but you got to start to work out of this. Hit the release button up high and then move together. A lot of the balls they're releasing, the group's not staying in sync with each other.
Conde. NC State not in sync there. And as you mentioned, and I was just about to say as well, as positive as certain individual moments have been for SLU, 15 shots to nothing, 5 shots on target to nothing in favor of NC State. So while there's been those tidbits of positivity, there hasn't been much else for SLU across midfield at least.
On the width of the field, J.C. Cortez, Leatherman, busy boys, ground coverage, trying to find a way to create link-up play as the narrative has started to turn in that favor. I would still go back to the opening game plan from head coach Kevin Kalish. Need to do a better job of keeping the game in front of them. Too many secondary balls allowing in behind. They're running downhill here, and that's just about communication, staying organized in the pressure moments when they release.
Bundesliga returns on Saturday with a top 10 matchup. Bayer Leverkusen and FC Cologne. Coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. Leatherman works past McLean. Has O'Neal open on the far side. If he spots it, he's brought down instead. Referee right on top of it says no. Long toward Phillip. Conde also chasing. Dangerous moment here for Quentin Blair. Sandwiched between those two. And he comes away with it. Still carrying Blair. O'Neal. Gets it back. Xavi O'Neal trying to create space. O'Neal, and there's your first shot of the night for SLU. It's half-hearted, Herb has it, but it's something. Logan Herb has a tattoo appointment on Thursday for a different personal reason, but he also hopes to get a national title tattoo as well as he gets it back into play. Phillip. And a corner for NC State. 8 now. Aiden Payne getting ready to come back in for NC State. Told it's going to be for Ibrahim Conde, whose night would come to an end. Swung in near post. Oh, that might have been going in. Foul against NC State. And Maloney went for the Olympico.
It wasn't. Leatherman's been all over the pitch. I mean, that has glory written all over the near post. Well done. by Carlos Leatherman, ever active. Interesting conversation coming into the match. Draven Barnett, who picked up the injury yesterday in training. The concern was who was going to be able to step into his place. Now, the preferred choice is Fournier, but as we've talked about twice tonight, Grady Easton has been dealing with that hamstring injury. If they couldn't get Grady Easton to go, Leatherman was going to jump up in there and play a little bit of that 6-8 pivot. As this match has gone on, become a little bit more adventurous. I'd like to see him maintain the width a bit more, but he has done a good job about locking down some of those central locations for SLU.
Charlie O'Neal has been a game changer since he's come on. So crafty with the ball. Your takeaway from watching Xavi, it feels like all or nothing at times. There really isn't a steady middle ground.
No.
The good thing tonight for SLU is it's all. He's been on everything that's come his way.
Get him downhill, ball in front of him. Let him run into space for sure, but with the ball at his feet, top end, he doesn't lack confidence and he'll run at anyone. What we've seen 20 yards and in is a lack of decision making. The last movement we saw, he had Jack DiMaria 5 yards from him. They're a little bit predictable right now, playing on the outside and up over the top. More of a presence centrally. That's going to continue to shift that shape. They had that in the first half. Got to get back to it.
Off the chest of Payne, barreling through. Last-ditch effort on the clearance. Longer this goes, the more doubt starts to creep into the mind of the team that is the perceived favorite tonight, playing at home. NC State, the seeded team. A team that has not played many one-goal games. They're 2-1-4 in those such games. SLU 10-1-8 in one-goal games. O'Neal comes off. Pari takes the spot. Job well done tonight for O'Neal. Heffis serves. Back out his way from Tommy. Heffis floating, back post, Phillip! It had to be Donovan Phillip for the Wolfpack!
Love the quick thinking on the near touchline here. They recognize SLU was pinned deep, expecting the ball to quickly be thrown into the box. And instead, quick thinking. Tommy, Heffis, let's play off of each other. Little two-man game. What a sublime ball that is. Clean on the deck, allowing him to put this into the danger area. And how bad do you want it? The hottest striker in the country, first 10 games, running away with what would be the collegiate golden boot. Cooled off mid-season, quality of competition more difficult. He became a marked man. On fire. 3 goals in 4 games now for Donovan Phillip, overpowering his mark and putting the Wolfpack in the lead.
We asked him personally yesterday what that stretch was like. That stretch where the faucet turned off, where he went from a man scoring at will to a man who had to endure a drought. He had 1 goal contribution in 7 games. He's back. 3 goals in the last 4, as you mentioned. The 1 game he didn't score in, he had an assist. It's 4 straight games now with a goal contribution in the tournament for Donovan Phillip. Somewhere in all that, Abenel picked up a yellow card for SLU. And with 21-20 remaining, NC State are a step away from the title game.
Guys, the response for SLU will be to turn into 2 10s and 1 single pivot.
That's a lot of pressure, and it is aggressive because of what's going to be the matchup now for Tay Healy. He's going to have more freedom to roam on the inside. The idea of 2 10s is an absolute necessity, though. They haven't been able to link up with DiMaria enough. That's going to put even more of an emphasis on the width of the field, throwing Leatherman up higher, exposing this back 3 more, but they haven't had enough personnel in advanced positions.
Remember, this is where the Wolfpack have excelled this year. First of all, when Donovan Phillip scores, good things happen, 10-0-1. But this season, a record of 15-2-4. All but 1 of those wins has been a clean sheet. They know how to close out games in these situations. The lone exception was last game against Georgetown, which, while not a clean sheet, was still a 1-goal win that they were able to grind out on the road. Payne with Healy. Take Healy bursting through, not much on it. Coverage of the NCAA championships continue to the Men's College Cup final on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Men's College Cup, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for every NCAA championship. Washington is there. Will NC State meet them there? Recall, though, what I mentioned earlier, the mantra of this SLU side that's posted in their locker room, fighting spirit. In this stretch, this 14-match unbeaten run that they've enjoyed, they have come from behind to win or tie in 8 of those 14 matchups. Last game against Akron, they were down 2-0. They won it 3-2 in regulation. Do not count this team out, or do so at your own peril.
That's a risky ball.
Can Healy make them pay? Donovan Phillip with acres of space. He didn't like what he saw, so he slowed down. Still with it, though. Phillip, Maloney, out for a corner that easily could have been an own goal the way things bounced around.
If SLU find a way back into this game, someone is going to have to carry Leatherman off the field. Understanding that positionally mistakes are made ahead of time. His recovery on the near post with the goalkeeper beat. Thanks very much. I mean, that ball is tattooed across the top of the 6 with a ton of NC State runners oncoming.
The second would feel like it would ice it, even though there's still time for NC State. Just the way their season has gone. When they go up 2, that's it. Maloney. Oh, what a play from Maloney. Beyond Leatherman. Maloney played in. Picture perfect. Tang Healy makes it 2.
Cannot expose yourself on the width like this. And if you're coming to win the ball, get the ball or the body. Do not allow another player in behind. Quick thinking, once again. Tommy got a little bit underneath it, but the individual ingenuity, thanks for coming. Silky touch. Service, perfect. And Healy, forget heating up. This kid has been on absolute fire. He and Phillip have taken NC State, the Wolfpack, put them on their back, thrown everything they had at the opposition. We talk about size, absolutely. Certainly not going to be when it comes to Healy, except for character. One of the Hubbard originals doubles it for NC State.
Both goals coming in a 3-minute, 28-second span. Di Maria looking for a response. Leatherman flipping it back post. Kept in play. All white jerseys there for it. Tate Healy has a knack for popping up in the right space in the right time in the box. As you mentioned, he's the shortest player on the field. He's not going to win many headers. But when you find space like that, whether you're 5'6" or 6'6" like our booth up here, you're going to find the net.
He's been calibrating right early on in the season, just wasn't falling for him. Chance creator, absolutely. He's got so much respect within this dressing room. And just the constant belief that has been his playmaking ability. They knew the goals were going to come. I still love that brilliant touch and thinking by Tommy, much like we saw in the first goal. But now, that belief, that's got to be the talking point for SLU. And speaking of Kalish, head coach from St. Louis yesterday, Kevin Kalish said, listen, it's not one thing that's going to get us or keep us in this match. We got to do everything. We have to be resolute. That's what he's telling him right now. Just one. Quarter hour to go. All of the belief, all of those one-goal games, all of the culture that has been injected into this community over and over again has to come to a tipping point for this squad right now if they want to stay in this match.
Look, if there's a team in the country who can do it, it's this one. I don't think going down by 2 is something they'd like to design, but again, last game down 2 against Akron, came back to win it in regulation 3-2, though they started on that road back much earlier. Only 16:30 remaining now. You thought in the moment that Avenel's penalty save might be enough to turn the tide. Well, NC State turned the screws even tighter after that save. And that maybe stems back to that heart-to-heart they had after the Syracuse loss. More on that in a second. Phillip trying to break through. Phillip, end line, looking for Healy, and out for a corner. But after that Syracuse game, again, they had an hour-and-a-half chat as a team. A night where they dominated, onslaught in the attack. Could have been 3 or 4-0 in the first half, turned into a 3-0 loss. That moment there when Avenel made that penalty save, it could have been that banana peel they slip on like that Syracuse game. It's been the opposite, and it's hard not to think back to that heart-to-heart they had as a team. Corner number 10. If there's a hole to poke in the night that has been for NC State, they've not been effective on set pieces, at least not to their normal degree. Maloney looking for Phillip, nearly changed that on a moment's notice. Healy. Maloney. Looking down, saw a shake of the head there from Mark Hubbard after McClain attempted that fancy back heel. This team is so detail-oriented. The other day, as a matter of fact, Mark Hubbard mentioned he took a picture of a locker room that was untidy, and he sent it to the team group chat. It's the little things that turn into the big things for this group. And one of the little things of note for this game tonight, they stayed on campus. They stayed in the normal beds. They kept everything normal. They're only 5 miles away. They didn't go to the hotel like the other teams. They stayed home. They're trying to treat this as normal as possible. It's in the details for NC State. Those little things add up to the big things, and they're 14 minutes away from competing for a national title.
That little sequence right there from SLU is what you want, though, if you're head coach Kevin Kalish. More activity from Kareem Pari. I'd like to see he and DiMaria work off of each other better, but making sure they're on different planes. You know, since the change to the 210s and allowing Fournier to work and that single 6, a lot of times they're looking up, Joe. Both DiMaria and Pari are side by side. This is where the depth you can work around in that diamond shape for NC State really takes advantage if you start to work off of each other and create the correct angles.
Goals came 3:28 apart. First, it was Phillip, then it was Healy.
All of which included Tommy as well. Quick thinking on the throw, then down into the channel. Second one off the restart on the near touchline. Physically dominated on that back post ball. Individual expression on the second. Tommy and Maloney, the outside backs for NC State, have been incredible in the second half. The real spearhead of this attack that has allowed Donovan Phillip and Tig Healy, two of the most important for this team, two of the best in this conference, and right now, looking like two of the best in the country.
You mentioned earlier that Healy had that long drought. He wasn't scoring the goals. Last year had 6 goals, 6 assists. This year, his first goal didn't come until late in the year in October. It was weighing on him, but the guiding light throughout was he knew he was getting the chances. He knew he was creating chances for others with 8 assists. The goals have come at a great time. That's 3 now in the tournament. Santa Maria is applauded by the crowd as he comes off, starting tonight in the heart of the midfield.
Important to note, by the way, with Santa Maria's departure and Caton's, we'll call it unavailability for whatever reason it is, the preferred number 6, this is NC State's 3rd choice holding midfielder. And this is something that you would look at in general if you're Kevin Kalish and SLU, yet alone the intensity of this game. I'm quickly targeting that spot to work around him.
And again, for Caton, the expectation was him starting coming into the night. All of a sudden, we get the lineup at Santa Maria. We ask, we're told it's tactical. We see him down with the group wearing a penny. But I think actions speak louder than words. At this point, it's 13 and a half to go, and we haven't seen him.
Guys, in that break, Kevin Kalish, the first thing he said when his team came over is change your body language. He then gave them some tactical advice, get it to the weak side, flood the box. On the side of NC State, Mark Hubbard's actually made a couple tactical notes first and then reminded them of the simple things. Get the ball in the channel, go to the corner, do not foul.
The body language part there from Kevin Kalish was key. For a team that has done it over and over again this year, at some point, it's tough to push that rock up that mountain.
Some of those tactical adjustments for NC State are going to include this shape in the midfield. Just playing a little bit closer in proximity to the back line. Also gives support to the outside backs if you have to rotate out into the channel together.
Set pieces always a lifeline and a way back in. We've had plenty of them tonight, St. Louis. That's foul number 15 against NC State. We've also had 2 corners and a few long throws from well within territory. They have not made them count. They've gotten just 1 shot in on Logan Erb, and it was half-hearted at best, being outshot 19-1, 8 on target to 1, trailing 2-0 with 12 minutes remaining. Cortez curls it in nicely, loose at the edge of the 6. Offside flag came up. Austin Sanny glances at his watch, now ticking under 12. NC State in the College Cup for the first time since 1990. Not made a title game. That would change 12 minutes from now, when they would meet Washington on Monday should they hold on. What a turnaround it has been for this program. The Wolfpack made just 5 of 20 tournaments from 2004 to 2023. 5 out of 20. 3 of those came all in a row, 17, 18, 19. After a 4-year drought, Mark Hubbard comes in, It's back-to-back tournaments. It's their second ever College Cup and maybe their first ever title game. It's a program builder. Did it at New Hampshire. Won a national title at the D2 level at Southern New Hampshire. And fitting in a way, you've seen our promos all evening long for V-Week honoring Jim Valvano. NC State, as a university, have not won a men's team national title since Jimmy V's 1983 team. That could change on Monday as well. There was just a warning for time wasting, and immediately after the warning, Aiden Payne picks up a yellow. Usually good practice to try and let the ref forget about it for a few minutes before jumping right back into it.
Shows what you know. That's not how you end up on the stat sheet, Joe.
Yellow card issued against NC State's number 15, Aiden Payne.
Looking long for Anderson. It's not really the way to beat this NC State team, though, in the air, because that's where Heffis and Markovich thrive. Leatherman. 10 to play. Leatherman has been a standout tonight for SLU. Carving one in. Contact there.
Watch out.
Penalty. A yellow for Heffis, a penalty for the Billikens, and a lifeline back into this game.
Dangerous ball. One of the most consistent on the field tonight, Carlos Leatherman. 2 for the St. Louis Billikens. Love the cutback across here. Now, that ball initially should have come sooner, but the shout was get in the box. They didn't have enough players up high. Good understanding. Holds the run by McLean, and what a ball that is. Unreal. Drifting away from the player. Difficult for the goalkeeper to judge it. And the height of the way that it's going to drop down in. Kevin Kalish kept asking for Tanner Anderson to stay higher, to put pressure. A lifeline here for SLU.
I could see your face. The folks at home cannot. You look like you're not sure if this is a penalty.
My angle, it was clear as day. The first replay we had, I would say absolutely. The last one I saw, I would be concerned.
And I will dissect what you just said and sum it up this way. If there's that much doubt, the call usually stands.
The problem is here, it's not that contact up high, it's contact down low. Okay, so watch the bright side of your screen.
Oh, here comes the announcement.
After review, the decision of penalty kick yellow card stands as called.
That top side of your screen, it wasn't the top end contact, it was the bottom end that hits the ankle, not allowing the player to step in.
Penalty confirmed. So with 10 to play, a chance from 12 yards out for SLU to bring a goal back and make this interesting. As we've talked about, this team doesn't quit. They were down 2-0 against Akron, they won it 3-2. Seems to be a bit of an argument right now as to who's taking this.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Quentin Blair steps up in, and this is a decoy to allow for the center back. Little nod of approval behind the scenes by Kareem Paree. I would expect, given what we've seen in postseason play, that they would hand this off. Now, a lot of really good ball strikers, right and left-footed, but he's sniffing it. There he is, right on the inside of your screen. And the reason I say that is how clean he's been in the directions that he's gone. Against Georgetown and against Bryant, stepped right through on his right foot, the top right side, powering his way. But Davidson set the goalkeeper backing, coming across his body into the lower left portion. Really difficult for a goalkeeper to read a tendency here.
ACC Goalkeeper of the Year staring down center back Quentin Blair. 9:56 to go. The Billikens need this to get back in. Deep breath from Blair. Quentin Blair scores! Billikens have life!
We'll take you back to the infraction. Great job by Slew. A bit of sustained possession up high, and as you work it to the near touchline, the patience by Leatherman. Really good English on the ball, working it away from the defender, not allowing Logan Erb to come off his line. And then Quentin Blair, automatic from the spot. No chance. Even if Erb comes right, it's always going to be wrong with the quality and the consistency that has been Quentin Blair off the back line into the bottom corner, and Slew starting to surge forward.
Kevin Kalish has to be happy with the body language now. As he told Marion a short while ago, that's what needed to improve. Tactical switch as well, and now they're swarming. Di Maria. Leatherman stumbles. Battle with Healy, and Tague Healy wins it. Important to note how last game ended for NC State now. You mentioned it earlier, Devin, in our conversation with the team yesterday. That game against Georgetown was the first time they won a game without a shutout. The first time they'd conceded a goal and won a game. In that situation now, they've conceded, they're still leading, and they can rely on last game to power them through perhaps the last 8:40 here.
The difference in the other matches is Syracuse behind, Virginia behind. The others, draws. Simple enough, 0-0 draws. In Georgetown, they had that lead, so this is about the retention of belief right now for Mark Hubbard and NC State. Normally, cruise control. They blaze away, ashes only to follow, and instead right now, the truest test of character that you're gonna get wearing an NC State uniform that we've seen this season.
Phillip. Holding it up, that ball did stay in. Toward goal, it's just wide from Aiden Payne, slicing at the end.
Nearly. I mean, this was some sort of highlight reel that would have ended up certainly on the CV for Aiden Payne. He's an absolute pest up top, the way that he works off of Donovan Phillip, creating chaos, opening up space for Tague Healy, but go back about 12 minutes, it's 2-0 NC State. What was Kevin Kalish dictating to his team? Forget the tactics, pick your heads up. Where's that belief, that culture, that buzzword that everybody talks about? You guys are still in this game, and an incredible effort so far to give themselves a shot.
Can they tie it up here? Powering his way through, Heckenleibel comes out for a hit that goes wide. Ambitious as Fournier stepped up. You know he would want to get that back. Granted, he was saved on the other end after he conceded the penalty by Abonel, but a moment like that sticks with you, and he had a chance to get it back right there.
Go back to the success for both teams as we have 7 minutes to go. The game plan. NC State, at their best, have dominated the channel, have allowed the midfield to shift with them and play off of each other. In turn, yes, you're getting one-on-ones, at times physically demanding in the box for your strikers, but it's been the same thing for Slew. Right, you get Leatherman to start to pump up high. He's done really well for himself. You get the 2-10s to work off of each other. All of it is about balance. NC State had all of it to start this second half. Slew pulled back the momentum even before the goal because of dominance and possession mid to high. You want to win this game? The outside of it right now is where you're going to be at your best.
Part of that conversation with the Wolfpack players yesterday about that Georgetown game and winning a game in which they conceded was part of a larger conversation about when did you think this team could win a championship. Most of them said preseason, but Tate Healy used the Georgetown game as an example because that was the one thing they hadn't done yet. Can they hold on here? DiMaria through, Herb the save.
I like it. It's unpredictable. Maloney's got to watch this run. Good stuff from Leatherman again, inverting at that outside back position. We keep asking for more out of the 10s. We've seen glimpses from Kareem Parit. Still think the key is going to be DiMaria. That's really the first time that we've seen him truly advanced up high with the ability to attack just inside the 18. He's young. He's got to keep confidence right now. One of the younger ones on this team. Talent, never going to be a question. Just got to instill some confidence in the young man inside 5 minutes.
.445 as the clock stops. In the 88th minute against Akron, after trailing 2-0, St. Louis scored the winning goal. We're approaching that territory now for what would be a tying goal they're in search of tonight. Cortez. Easton. Cortez goes short. Heckenleibel goes long. 4 to play as Healy knocks it clear toward midfield. Cortez. Pari, end line, feeds it in front, just wide! It deflected, it's a corner, but Fournier thought he had it.
Beautiful build by St. Louis. It gets NC State downhill. Their backs are turned and they're really flat in their all-for-all position. As they compress them, how's the space on the right side? Right atop the 6. I mean, unreal on the cutback here. Perfect, and that's in. I mean, that is 2-2, if not for the deflection.
Caden Tolentino got in the way of it. Now from the corner, traffic, and Herb has it. You pointed it out earlier when Tolentino came in. Santa Maria went down injured. We don't see Caden tonight. You highlighted that it's the third choice defensive midfielder. You never know who it's going to be in a tournament like this on a night like this. It's his deflection that preserves the lead for the Wolfpack. Two and a half remaining. Wolfpack have never played for a national championship on the men's side in college soccer. They're 2-18 away from doing that against Washington on Monday. Leatherman looking for Pari. Never say die slew side. 14 matches unbeaten, 9 wins, 5 draws, 8 times in that span. They've come back to tie it or win it. They have 2 more minutes. Try and pull another rabbit out of the hat. Heckenleibel. Getting to the point of the game where a clearance is met with the same roar that a goal would be met by from the Red Terrors, who hope to be back here Monday at 7. You could catch it from home on ESPNU or the app.
Just keep it. Well done. Just keep it. Ever steady right now. NC State clean touches. Last 2 minutes, that ball worked to the far side of the field again. Tommy on the clean clearance. Killed the game off.
SLU bench was unhappy there. They feel it's been too long to get this ball back into play. 20 seconds came off the clock from the time the whistle was blown till that kick was put back in. This crowd knows it now. 20 seconds remaining. Down in the corner. There's no way the Billikens are taking this down the other way and scoring. The NC State Wolfpack will play on Monday for a national championship in their own backyard. Tate Healy with the winning goal, and NC State celebrates virtually at home. Monday, 7 Eastern, Washington and NC State. The Red Terrors will be there. The Wolfpack looking for their first national championship. Tate Healy celebrates bigger than anybody. Smallest player on the field, biggest moment of the night, the winning goal.
Moments all over the field, though, tonight for both of these teams, and truly it started with NC State. Right, you thought they had the go-ahead opportunity with the penalty. The cutback across, yes, it's off the hand of Fournier as he bumped up into the midfield. Penalty, but no goal. Jeremy Abenel stops another one in postseason play from the spot, and life restored for SLU. The problem was the dominance of NC State on the width. Absolutely incredible here in the second half. Tommy and Maloney gave so much freedom to this group coming forward for a man that needed confidence coming into the tournament. Donovan Phillip, now 3 goals in 4 games, bags the opener. Tate Healy, just moments later in the 73rd. You want to talk about physicality and height? Sure. Tate Healy is never going to be in that conversation. But the biggest effort and the biggest heart for NC State Wolfpack has and always will be Tate Healy. It's 2-0. SLU didn't waver. Kevin Kalish said, we need this. We need good positioning. We need the belief. They got it from Quentin Blair. The penalty with moments to go, but never enough. And State move onward.
Marion Crowder down on the field with Tate Healy.
3 straight. What does this one feel like?
Crazy, man. We've been building up all year, Final Four, in the backyard. And yeah, special night, special atmosphere. St. Louis, tough team to play against, but like we've been doing all year, get the job done.
You get the second game-winning goal of the season. Your teammate actually is now tied for the most goals in the country. What is it like playing with him?
Oh, he's class. Every time I look up, I've got an option. He's running behind, hold out the feet, to bounce back to me. We hold each other to such a high standard, and it works out even when we're getting at each other in training. Look what happens in the field. So yeah, he's class and makes my job a lot easier.
This crowd was pretty class tonight. For those watching at home, what do you have to say for how supportive this group has been for you guys this season?
Oh yeah, it was unreal. Red Terrors in particular, they're there every home game, no matter the rain, snow, sun. It's unreal, and we're seeing a game up a goal with 10 minutes left. It's like the 12th man, and you got adrenaline rushes and all that. So yeah, they're unreal.
From the moment you guys walked in the media day, you have been a locked-in group. How do you prepare now for the national championship game on Monday?
That's what we talked about going into today. We don't change anything. It's what we've been doing all year. We're a process-oriented team. We don't let the moment get too big for us, and yeah, we're going to do the same thing we did in the build-up to this game, the same thing we did in the build-up to the first game of the season. We're just going to keep doing what we do, stick together as a group.
Can't let you get out of here without asking you a very important question. When was the last time you scored a header?
Before 11v11, that's for sure. I don't even remember, so. Yeah, I was expecting, but hey, we'll take it any way we can.
Congratulations. Go
Thank you.
celebrate.
Thank you, thank you.
Tig Healy is closer to Mark Hubbard than probably anybody on this team. That's safe to say. Coach Hubbard knew him from a kid down in New Hampshire, playing from the youth levels, now 4 years together in college. So it had to be Healy to put this team into the final on Monday. Devin, it's Washington and NC State.
Furman could never really get it going against Jamie Clark, and the Huskies dominated the opening match. 3-1 scoreline, probably could have been 5. In this game, I'll tip my cap to St. Louis. A question about the talent levels between the two, the physically demanding nature that would be. The never wavering spirit did show up. It was just a little bit late. And to NC State, for all of the talk about lack of adversity, their strength of schedule not being that of a top-end ACC team at 56 in the country, back-to-back matches against two teams resolute in nature that they've knocked off and have earned their chance to put a star above the crest.
Earlier tonight, it was Washington running through Furman in the first half. It got to 3-0. It finished 3-1. They were terrific in icing out that game. We flip over to NC State and SLU. It was a heated battle the whole way. NC State rising above and winning it 2-1. For our entire crew, my broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long from Cary. We'll see you Monday at 7 Eastern for the National Championship.